Greetings, my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy. Welcome back to another gadget test. Today I'm going to be testing out a little find that I found at my local thrift store, and this is this gem, and this is a Twinkies Maker. Now, if you're not familiar with Twinkies, Twinkies are made by the Hostess company. They are a little kind of tube of fluffy yellow chiffon cake filled with a cream filling. You open it up and inside you've got this white fluffy cream. Now, there is a cult following when it comes to Twinkies. I personally didn't grow up eating them much. I can count on one hand how many times I've had a Twinkie. In fact, I think all the times I really had them have been on this show. If you follow me at all on social media, you know that last week I went to the thrift store, which I often do because I love hunting for treasures. I have made other things with finds that I found at the thrift store, including a thrift store bread maker, a thrift store ice cream maker, and I paid $6.99 for it. I'm going to remove the sticker because once this gets hot, this is probably going to stick permanently and turn dark. So, pretty good deal. So this was manufactured several years ago. Let's see if there's a date on here. There is not. This seems to be in excellent condition. It still has the original little twist tie on it. It still has the cap on the plug. And we open it inside. It doesn't even look like, oops, it doesn't look like it was ever used. So this did not come in its original box and did not include a recipe manual, instruction manual, but when I posted this on Facebook, many of you beautiful lovelies chimed in that you too had one of these machines and then sent me copies of your instruction manual, so that was absolutely wonderful. I remember distinctly as a child seeing a twin pack of Twinkies that you could purchase them like that at the grocery store because they were always next to the chocolate cupcakes, which were my favorite. I would always get the Hostess chocolate cupcakes, never even bothered with the Twinkies because there's no chocolate involved. But I remember seeing the twin pack. But when I went to the grocery store, all I could find is a 10 pack. No little twinsies, none of that. Maybe at a convenience store? I don't know, Twinkie experts chime in and tell me, can you not get the little Twinnies anymore? I don't know. Okay, let's make the batter, shall we? 1 stick of room temperature butter. I cut this up so it would warm up faster. And we're gonna cream that with some sugar. All right, spatula. So that's a half cup. Cup of sugar. Blend this together with a hand mixer. Here we go. It's gonna be a little loud. Whoa, take it easy. That's 1. That seems a bit fast. 1 egg yolk. Look at that, beautiful. Oops. And all of you in there. Okay, let's use this. Okay. And then we're gonna add 2 eggs, also at room temperature. 1, 2. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 1, 2. Beat that all together. One and a half cups of all-purpose flour. Boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Half teaspoon of salt. Boop. And baking powder. How much baking powder? 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Baking powder, soda. I found my soda. Where's the powder? Oh, under the Marmite. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Blend this a bit, and then I'm going to add my 3/4 cup of milk. The rest of this we can just use the spatula for. Okay, so now we're going to preheat the maker, and when it turns green, it is ready. So we'll let that go, and I think to make this easier to fill, I'm going to use a pastry bag with no tip. I'm going to clip the end with a clip here, keep everything from going all over the place, hopefully, and just going to fill this up. I think this will just make things easier. especially since I'm going to be filling my Twinkies with some interesting fillings. I'm going to do the original, of course, which is just the cream filling, but I thought, why not have a little bit of fun? So I think putting the batter in a piping bag will help with that process. Now, this is not turned green yet. Oh, it turned green. Thank you, Twinkie Maker. Okay, I've got some oil and a silicone brush, and I'm going to very well oil everything here. This looks like it's a non-stick coating, but the instructions say specifically to oil everything down. So, oiling I am. So I've got some fillings that I've already prepared. I'm gonna do a hot dog Twinkie, I'm gonna do a pizza Twinkie, I'm gonna do a Snickers Twinkie. Just gonna fill this up. I'm just gonna do 3 plain. This one right here, piece of hot dog right in the middle. Cover it with more batter. Then I'm gonna do another one, half, and put a piece of string cheese in the middle, and that will be my pizza one, along with some of these tiny itty bitty pepperonis right here. Look at these pepperonis, aren't they the cutest? A little bit more batter. Quarter for Snickers bar right in the middle. Top it with more batter. Now we're supposed to close this and cook it 4 to 7 minutes. I'm going to check it after 4 minutes to see how they're doing. I'm going to use a toothpick, and when it comes out clean, we know that our little cakes are ready. Okay, see you in a few minutes. Shut up. Okay, that was 4 minutes. Let's check on them. Ooh, look how much they've puffed up and cooked. Okay, let's give this a little poke. Definitely, oh, I poked the hot dog, I think. Yeah, they still feel a little bit soft in the middle. So let's give these a couple more minutes. 6 minutes. Alrighty, let's take a look at these. These are definitely feeling cake-like. When I watched videos of people trying to take these out, there was a bit of a struggle, but I think there's an easy answer. I'm gonna unplug this. Rather than struggling and trying to get these out and risk messing my Twinkies up, I'm gonna close this up, turn it upside down. Oh, 1 perfect Twinkie. Yes, I feel like the count. So I'm gonna transfer that to my baking tray. Ooh, 2 perfect Twinkie. Yes. Okay, where's my toothpick? This one wants to come out. Just a little bit of coaxing here. Three perfect Twinkie. This is great. These are actually turning out better than I expected. Okay. Now I'm transferring them to, oh, yes. Oh no, now these are all mixed up. Now I don't know which ones are which. Wow, this is gonna be a little bit like Twinkie roulette or something. So this one was the Snickers bar. They look pretty stinking great. I'm impressed. Right, now we're gonna prepare our filling. I've got 3 tablespoons of room temperature butter, along with an equal amount of shortening. Cream these together. Now we're gonna slowly add 1 cup of powdered sugar. We're gonna beat this for 2 minutes. Okay, now we're going to gradually add 1 cup of corn syrup. Ooh, that was a lot. Okay, I think that's our filling. It's kind of a cross between a frosting and an icing, although it is a little closer to a frosting. Whenever I think of the filling inside of a Twinkie, though, I think of something really light and fluffy, a little bit more like whipped cream. Well, this seems a little bit more like a 7-minute icing, really. So apparently this machine came with a cream filler, but I'm going to use a piping bag with a little round tip as a substitution. It should work out just fine. Okay, now for the fun part. We're gonna fill the cakes. So here is an original Twinkie. You can see that the cream has been injected in 3 spots at the bottom of the cake. So I'm gonna do the same thing with my piping bag here. I'm gonna use a chopstick and kind of pre-drill some holes here. These already feel pretty different than the original ones. I just squeezed the original ones, which feel very soft. And these have a bit of a harder crust to them. I'm actually gonna use the back of the chopstick to kind of widen the hole a bit so that the pastry tip will actually fit. I'm gonna inject some cream in there. Can't really tell when it fills up. So I'm just giving it a good squeeze. Scrape some of that excess off. And there is a filled Twinkie. So for the next one, I'm gonna add some sliced strawberries. See if I can fit a piece of strawberry in there. The strawberry is basically filling the hole. So I'm gonna make holes in between to put the cream. Inject. Inject. And finally we have our pizza one. So for that one, and I'm gonna fill it with a little bit of pizza sauce. So there we have it, 5 different Twinkies. Pizza, hot dog, Snickers, strawberry shortcake, and original. Yay! A little star of custom Twinkies. Now, let's go ahead and give these a taste. So if we compare side by side, the homemade version is a little bit narrower, a little bit shorter, but pretty similar color. But immediately I notice there's a difference in texture. The original Twinkie is much softer and feels a little bit lighter, and the homemade one is a little bit crunchier. Break open the original to show you what it looks like inside. There is the classic, very white frosting in the middle. Actually, it's more like a cream. It's very light. Let's give that a taste. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Very sweet, light, fluffy texture with a cream filling that's more like Cool Whip. It's fluffy and kind of sweet, a little bit of vanilla. I almost taste a kind of lemon chiffon flavor, but I don't think there's any lemon in here, it's just my imagination. But it has the texture of chiffon cake, very fluffy with a little bit of a chew to it. And the filling is very, very soft and fluffy, a little bit sticky. Very sweet, with a slight vanilla flavor to it. So there's the cake, very, very tender. Let's compare that with the cream-filled homemade version. Now let's break this open and see how we did in the middle. Oh, not much of a cream filling. Definitely doesn't look like the original in terms of having it nice and centered and fluffy and present. This one has a kind of goopier texture. It's a little more transparent. It's not so opaque and white and bright. So let's give this a taste. Here we go. So it both tastes and feels very, very different. The cake crumb is much denser, although it is like a yellow cake, but compared to the original, which is much more like a chiffon or an angel food cake, which is really, really light, this is much more like a yellow cake. Denser and almost has the consistency of cornbread because the outside is kind of crunchy. I shouldn't say crunchy, but it has more of a kind of baked in, a little bit more like when you have a brownie edge. It's just a little bit more cooked on the outside. And the filling is completely different texture. And in terms of a textural experience, you don't really notice it at all. You taste a little bit extra sweetness, but there's not this kind of light, fluffy interior like you have in the original. Very, very different. Not unpleasant, it's tasty. It's just not really a Twinkie. Let's try the strawberry shortcake one. Let's open that one up. Oh, filling is a little bit disappointing. There is some strawberry in there, but can't really see it in cross section. But let's give it a go. I like that. Really classic combination. Again, the texture of the cake is wrong, but That combination of sweetness, strawberry cake, yum. Now let's try this one, which is our pizza one. I'm gonna cut this one because it has some cheese in it. So let's see how we did. That actually is pretty funny. So we've got a melted layer of cheese, we've got a little bit of pepperoni, and a little injection of sauce. Let's give that one a go. Definitely flavors of pizza. We've got mozzarella cheese, pepperoni, a little bit of sauce, and that crust part tastes like sweet cornbread. It's actually a great combination. A little dry though. I think a little more sauce would be better. Let's try the hot dog version. Not quite centered, but there definitely is a hot dog in the middle. All right, let's give that a go. That's great. That's actually my favorite one so far. That's like a corn dog. The cake is not too sweet and actually goes really, really well with a salty hot dog in the middle. Great, 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 great. Little hush puppy corn doggy thing. Love it. And this one got a little bit crisp on the bottom here. Really great textural contrast, a little bit of crispiness. Like that. Alrighty, so here is the Snickers bar version. Okay, let's cut that one. Ooh, now that's a satisfying center. Look at that. Kind of melted, kind of gooey. I could see a little bit of the chocolate coming through. Okay, I like the amount of filling in there, and I like that it's centered. Okay, let's give this one a go. I'm a huge Snickers bar fan, so there's no reason why I wouldn't like this. The proportion of cake to chocolate bar is perfect in there. Love this one. This one and the hot dog one are definitely my favorite. If your ultimate goal is to actually create something that is similar to a Twinkie in terms of texture and flavor, it doesn't really do it. Does it make little cake bars that are fun to cook up and fill? Yes, most definitely. You could also use this to make little omelets. I can imagine little omelet sticks or something like that. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoy that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Mama.